Hey Ralph, it's RC Chaser. How are you?
Hey Fernando, how are you?
Hey, thanks for having me come to your garage today. But I want to tell my subscriber, my audience, this is RC Chaser. This is our first episode of RC Garage.
Come on in, let me tell you a little bit about what I do here. This is my garage, or as my wife likes to call it, this is my laboratory. I do everything in here. I've been flying remote control airplanes since I was 11 years old. I started at 6 years of age building plastic models. You remember those plastic models? You put them together. And then at 11 I got my first radio control airplane, which was an ugly stick, basically a high wing airplane with a propeller, and learned to fly that. Then first I got into U-control, those planes that fly in circles with a cable. Then I got into radio control, and of course when you get into the radio control hobby, you can go with planes, cars, boats, even submarines, helicopters. But I liked airplanes, so I started with airplanes. And back in those days, 30, 40 some years ago, you had to build the planes yourself. So you would buy this box of balsa wood, get some glue, and put it together. It would take you 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and within a month you would have this plane, a balsa wood airplane, with very unreliable radio control systems, and that's what we use to fly. And nowadays, think of those propeller planes like this one here. This plane belongs to my wife, Andrea. Just a basic Cessna looking like airplane. This is what I had when I was 11 years old, but mine was made of balsa wood. This is new technology. It's made of high density foam, and you can buy this just like that, ready to fly, ready to go, already built. Look at the difference. So now we're gonna put this away, and we're gonna get into the Formula One part of it, the remote control jets. As you can see, we can have a pure jet, or we can have a turboprop jet. This plane, although it's got a propeller on it, it's basically a jet engine with a propeller in front of it. And you can buy these ready to fly, or you can do what I like to do, build them, put them together, and within maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you can have one of these. This here, it's a beautiful US Air Force airplane called the T-38. The name of it is the Talon. The US Air Force uses these planes for training. This is a French-made airplane called the Mirage. It's a fighter attack kind of an airplane. That one is made in Brazil. It's called the T-27 Tucano because it's got a long nose, and it's a training aircraft. This beautiful model is built by an outfit called Junia Air, which is a large factory in Brazil. And when you buy a plane, that's what you get, this beautiful, already built, already made airplane. And over here, we have an older airplane made by BVM, which was also a kit. It's a MiG-15, a Russian airplane. But some people say, wait a second, how can a Russian airplane have US Air Force markings? So my answer to that is go on YouTube and look for US MiG, and you get the answer for that. So it's not a mistake that I made. I didn't have an extra set of American decals and put on a Russian airplane. There's a reason why this US Air Force insignia is on this Russian airplane. Now if we look inside the airplanes, let's look at this one here. This T-38 here, it's got 2 fuel tanks. Here's the main fuel tank. That's an additional fuel tank to give you an extra couple of minutes of flight time. And that's the turbine. The turbine works just like a real turbine in the commercial aircraft. Fuel gets in here, it burns in here, and the exhaust comes out of here. This little engine, which is bigger than a can of Coca-Cola, can produce about 30 pounds of thrust, which is enough to take this plane from 0 to 200 miles per hour. Now, just so you guys have an idea what building is like, although this plane is flyable and it flies great, I wanted to make it fly a little better. So I had this fuel tank made for it. This is a Kevlar fuel tank. Kevlar is the same material used in the bulletproof vest. If you look at this tank, it's just plastic. I didn't want plastic in my plane, but I couldn't find any tanks that fit the plane, so I had to call a guy, a buddy of mine from Jet Tech Industries, and he made this tank for me. So tonight, if I have the chance, I'm going to replace this plastic tank, which could burst if we had a problem, with this Kevlar tank right here. And if you look carefully, you will see that this tank is bigger than this one, so I get more flight time. And by the way, it's also lighter and way stronger. As far as building, I have this garage set up in such a way that I have my main building table right here. And this table is built on these wheels, so I can move it out of the way. And that's handy because my tools are right behind it. If you look over here, I have my building tools in a certain sequence. That makes sense to me. So if I need to cut anything, cut wood, plywood, metal, whatever it is, I cut here, I drill the holes here, I sand over here, and I finish over there. From this area, I transfer the piece to this table, and that's where I do my building. If I need to make something, I have two ways. I can make using my 3D printer, which I'll show you in a little bit, or I have a laser cutting machine. The blue box is actually a laser cutting machine. I can cut anything I want with that machine, and that's used primarily for balsa wood. If I have to make a piece of wood, I design the piece in my computer and I use the laser machine to cut that piece. This is my small lathe. If I have to make any metal pieces, pieces for a landing gear, pieces for an engine, I can use my lathe. That's called a micro lathe. And you can make mechanical metallic pieces with it. So that's how I have my garage arranged. And if you look behind me, this is the storage area. Because I work in this laboratory pretty much all day long. And I could be working here at 2 in the afternoon or 2 in the morning. And if I'm working at 2 in the morning and I need something, I don't like to wait and not finish my project because of it. So I have in the back boxes of parts, extra tools. I have metric bolts, metric nuts, standard bolts, standard nuts, some basic things that every hobbyist should have, like tubes and wheels and glue, special glue. So I have everything there. Paint, storage. So that's how I like to divide my garage into specific segments. Building area, preparation area, cutting area, and over here I got 3 toolboxes with all the screwdrivers and pliers, hammers, everything you need would be right there. And I got more storage on the other side because I don't only build airplanes. I also have some more toys. Let me show you what they are. Okay, sometimes I would like to build something from zero, something from scratch, or sometimes just to modify something. As an example, you can buy this bomb here, this plastic bomb on Amazon or eBay. This is one of those plastic bombs. You can put baby powder inside of it, and when you drop the bomb from the airplane and it hits the ground, it splits in half, and there it goes. It simulates an explosion. But this bomb here, which you can buy, is a little bit too small for my airplanes. So what I had to do, I made with my computer another bomb, but a little bit bigger. And then I had this new bomb printed with my 3D machine. First I made a little bomb just to see if I liked the shape of it. Once I liked it, then I just increased the scale and made another one about 10 times larger. So that's what I'm going to use in my airplane. I'm going to paint it, prime it, paint it green, put the little clip here. This will connect under the plane, and at the right moment with my radio control radio, I'll just click it and there it goes. I do these extra things because when you go to competitions, the more extra things you do, the more points you get. That's why I also make something else for extra points. For a while now, I've been developing a little pilot. If you look at this cockpit here, you will see pilot here, a pilot there, but they don't move, they just sit there. So I thought, why not make a pilot that actually moves? So I've been developing this program for a while, and I finally got it right, where you can make, with a 3D printer, you can make a little pilot with electric motors inside, and each motor will move a different item. One motor will move the right arm, the other one the left arm, the other one the head up and down, the other one the head left and right. So I turned this into this. Here's a good example of one of my pilots. You can program it so the arms can move way more, the head can move way more left and right, and also up and down. And once you program that, you transfer the information of the movements to this computer chip and hook it up to the battery pack. That's it. So once you put this in the plane, it will just move by itself until you turn it off. So I was talking about extra points when you go to competitions. Another thing I like to do for extra points, I don't carry my airplane to the flight line. A lot of guys, they ask for help. Please grab the nose, and I grab the tail, and we carry these airplanes to the flight line. After all, each one of these airplanes weigh between 30 and 40 pounds. So what do? I got my own way to take the planes to the flight line. I got this Hummer here, and I got this other truck that I made using my 3D printer. I have a tow bar here, which this part of the tow bar is hooked up to the nose of the airplane, and this part is hooked up to the back of the truck. So not only I get extra points by having this setup, it's more fun to drive the car and tow the plane to the flight line than it is to just carry the airplane with the help of a friend. So these cars get very detailed, as you can see. On this other car here, this is actually a truck that does exist. It's an ugly Russian truck that's got the lights on top, the warning lights, and we have a tow setup here with lights. And this is these are snow tires, because in Russia and you're in Siberia, you better have these tires on. So, but I made it in such a way, it's not 100% finished, it's about 90% finished, that you can actually see the driver inside. And for the outside, I got leathers here, I got equipment that goes everywhere, but I haven't finished it yet. So I'm gonna finish this one for the next competition, and if for some reason I have some kind of a problem, I got my backup tow truck. And if you notice, everything I make is 1/6 scale. Why? Because you can take this driver and put it in this cockpit, or you can get this pilot and put it in this car, so everything is the same size. That's why everything you see is so large. Everything is 6 times smaller than the real thing. So a Hummer would be 6 times larger than this car. So not only I have the cars here, which I love to drive, I got the, these are just basically show cars for the competitions. I also have the racing cars, which are on the other side. I got a couple of boats here. These are gasoline boats. They each have a little gasoline motor, one of those weed eater motors. They do about 40 miles per hour in the water. And if you have access to a lake, which I do, it's a great way to play when it's too windy to fly airplanes. But if it's not too windy and you still want to play in the water, look at this here. This is one of my preferred. I love this thing. I can't even talk about it. I get excited. I love this submarine right here. This is not a positive buoyancy submarine. This is an actual submarine. You don't have to move in order to descend. You can, with a flick of switch, turn on a pump. The submarine fills up with water and it sinks. And you can use the dive planes to go up and down. You can control the height of the submarine, the depth of the submarine, if you want to talk that way. The details are just wonderful. This is an American submarine from the 1940s. It's called the Gato class or the Cat class. On the inside, I can't show you the inside right now, but actually, let me see if I can. You will see that the submarine, yeah, I can show you, it's open. It's built, there you go, in such a way that this cylinder here fills up with water from here to here. And this provides enough weight for the submarine to descend. So in the back you have the electronic compartment. This is where the servos control the rudder and the dive plane. In the front you have the area of the water pump and the battery pack. And that's how we charge the batteries. And once you combine the three, you get this great submarine that works just like a real submarine. And it's one of my best radio control toys, if you want to call it that. I love the submarine because it's so unique. And a lot of people ask me, how do you see the submarine? Well, you don't. What you see is just the tip of the periscope right here. So the goal is to drive the submarine underwater in such a way that you don't go up and down and up and down. You stay steady and all you see is the tip of the periscope. I also have a modification I haven't done yet. I got 2 torpedoes that I'm going to install here. The torpedoes will come out of these holes and they are propelled with pressurized air. So inside the submarine I'm going to have a mini scuba tank with air pressure, and that air pressure is going to charge the torpedo. So when I press a button, that torpedo will just let itself go and it will travel about 20 to 30 feet underwater to the target.
Let me see your other remote control cars.
Oh,
whoa. Where's your remote control for this?
Oh, it's right here. There you go. This makes the Lamborghini go left and right, and that's the throttle. This little throttle controls 600 horsepower right there. It's a very expensive controller, if you know what I mean.
Well, Ralph, you got a lot of stuff here to keep you busy for a long time.
A lot of toys. It keeps me busy because when I'm not flying the toys, I'm flying the real thing. I am an airline captain. I fly the Boeing 767 for UPS Airlines. And I've been flying full-size airplanes since I was 14 years old. I actually had a pilot's license before I got my driver's license. And I've been flying for UPS for 30 years now. And before that I was with Delta. Before that I was with Comair, Braniff, and First National Bank.